All right, let's talk about something we've all felt. That mysterious force that just stops you in your tracks right when you're about to do your most important work. Well, today we're diving into Steven Pressfield's incredible book, The War of Art, which is basically a battle plan for winning that exact fight.
So let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. Do you ever get that feeling that there's another life inside you? An unlived life? Like there's something you're supposed to be doing, but there's this invisible wall just holding you back?
Well, according to Pressfield, that wall, that barrier between the life you're living and that unlived one, it actually has a name. And it's not just, being lazy or procrastinating. No, he says it's an active, almost evil force. And he calls it resistance.
Okay, so if we're going to win this war, we first have to know our enemy, right? Let's break down exactly what this resistance thing is. One of the most powerful things Pressfield does in The War of Art is give this enemy a name. Just calling it out, resistance, is the first crucial step to beating it. It's this universal force that gets in the way of what we're all meant to do.
So, what is it really? Oh, you know it. It's that nagging voice of self-doubt. It's that sudden, overwhelming urge to procrastinate. It's that feeling that you absolutely must alphabetize your spice rack right now instead of starting that big project. It's the enemy inside all of us.
And here's the thing about resistance. First off, it's internal. It comes from inside you. You're generating it yourself. But it's also totally impersonal. It doesn't care if you're a genius or a beginner. It's just a force of nature, like gravity. And man, is it insidious. It will lie, it will bargain, it will create any excuse to stop you. But here's the kicker, and this is so important. It's also infallible. It's like a compass. The more resistance you feel towards something, the more you can be sure that's exactly what you need to be doing. Now, this quote, it's shocking, right? But it makes a terrifyingly powerful point. Pressfield's argument is that when we don't face our creative battles, that energy doesn't just vanish. It curdles. It turns toxic and finds other, often destructive outlets. And yeah, his most extreme example is Hitler, a failed artist who, instead of facing the canvas, channeled that blocked energy into something monstrous.
So, when you come face to face with resistance, you've got a choice to make. And this is really the core of the whole book. You can be an amateur or you can be a pro. The amateur? The amateur is the one who gives in. They get distracted. And Pressfield is pretty blunt here. He doesn't see it as a cute habit. He calls it an addiction. Think about it. Binge watching, endlessly scrolling on your phone. He calls these shadow activities. They're fake versions of the real work we're too scared to do. And if we're not careful, they lead to a shadow life where we never actually live up to our potential.
Let's look at the difference side by side, because it's huge. The amateur, they play for fun. They're a weekend warrior. The pro, they play for keeps. They're on the job 7 days a week. The amateur gets all wrapped up in their identity as an artist, while the pro just focuses on mastering the technique. See, the amateur is terrified of failure, and is always looking for someone else to say, good job. The professional, they know failure is part of the game. They can even laugh about it. And most importantly, they don't need your approval. They validate themselves by simply doing the work.
And let's be super clear about something. Turning pro has nothing to do with getting paid. You could be a lawyer by day and a pro painter by night. It's all about a mindset shift. It's a conscious decision you make to take your calling, whatever it is, seriously. All right, we've identified the enemy, we've laid out the two paths. Now for the good stuff, the battle plan. How do you actually do it? How do you turn pro?
So yeah, how do you fight back against this thing? Because just knowing about resistance isn't enough, right? We need a real strategy, a plan of attack we can use every single day.
And the answer is, well, it's incredibly simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. You turn pro by committing. You just show up every single day, no matter what. You put your butt in the chair, you pick up the brush, you open the laptop, you do the work, especially when you don't feel like it.
Okay, so here's a practical, step-by-step way to get yourself unstuck. First, you gotta make giving in less automatic. See it for what it is. Second, call procrastination what it is, a harmful addiction. Then you have to get real with yourself and ask how much it's really costing you. From there, you can make a call. Do you just limit the bad habit, or do you cut it out completely? And then, the crucial step. You replace that junk time with active rest. And, of course, you do the work.
Now, this idea of passive rest is a total game changer. Think about it.
Scrolling through social media, letting Netflix just autoplay the next episode. It feels like you're relaxing, right? But you're not. It actually makes you feel guilty. It's infinite. It could go on forever. And it just sucks the creative energy right out of you. Honestly, it's just resistance wearing a clever disguise.
But then there's active rest. This is the good stuff. It's restorative. It actually makes you feel better. Think about taking a hike, reading a real book, playing an instrument. These things have an endpoint. They engage you, and they genuinely recharge your batteries so you're ready to get back to your real work. That's how a pro rests.
I absolutely love this quote because it just nails the professional mindset. Amateurs wait for inspiration to strike. But the pro? Well, like Somerset Maugham said, I write only when inspiration strikes. Fortunately, it strikes every morning at 9 o'clock sharp. See? The pro's discipline is what summons the muse, not the other way around.
So let's talk about winning. What does victory look like in this war? Here's a hint. It's not a finish line you cross once. It's something you have to do every single day. Yeah, you never, ever beat resistance for good. It's always there. Pressfield tells a story about how even the legendary Henry Fonda would throw up from stage fright before every performance, even late in his career. The battle starts over every morning. Winning isn't about vanquishing the enemy forever. Winning is just showing up and fighting the battle today. And this is maybe the most empowering idea in the whole book. Resistance has no power of its own. None. Zero. Every bit of its strength comes from us. We feed it with our fear. So if you can master that fear, you starve the beast. You realize that you've had the power to win all along. So I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful tool, this rule of thumb. That feeling of resistance, that fear, that urge to procrastinate, stop thinking of it as a red light telling you to stop. Start seeing it for what it is, a compass. It is pointing you directly at the thing your soul needs you to do. The more resistance you feel, the more important the work is. So the only question left is this. What is your resistance telling you to do today? What's that one thing you're dreading, avoiding, putting off? That's it. That's your compass pointing north. That's your battle. Go fight it.